Hey everybody, let me talk in this video about how we could do implement for TableView using JavaFX. So yeah, to get started with TableView, see how the TableView look like. If I just using the draw tool, I don't know why I see this one always, but say draw tool. So this is the TableView. Just look like this screenshot. It has this way title and have number of rows if you see it. So first of all, you have to think about the table view in this way. You have title with specific thing. You see it here, I have username, password, and account type, and I have here number of data should be displayed. So how we do this work? So let me show you. To get started, I will just create a new project. I would name it JavaFX. I say table view demox. Okay. Next, finish to show this project. So first I think what you have to think about it. You have to think this is table view. Hopefully this one, table view demo X, this one. You have to think about the data, how your data construct. You have username, password, and account type. So you have to have a class take care about this part. So define your class, name it accounts. Okay. So what do you think the account have? First thing should have public string user name. Okay, is that right? Yes, public string user name, then string for password, and you would suppose always you have public. Okay, string for type. For sure you have to have a constructor here. You say okay, I have here, then I have constructor should be public with the same name of my class, and this one will get initialize or will do initialization for these three properties. So first one, second one, third one. So let me do it in this way. You say okay, I will get username. Let me just make it come on what my name is. So just taking username, taking the password, and taking the type. Okay, this is the three information you want to do it. Then you want to do initialize. You say okay, I would do this dot username equal the username. Then you talk about the password. You say okay, I have this dot password equal the password. Then you talk about the type. You say okay, this dot type equal the type. But because you want to work with UI, this type of data will not work. So you cannot define that as a string. You have defined a simple string property because table view cannot access to the data from tab of string. So make sure change it to the table view. Then you say okay, new this one. Okay, so do same thing for all. So all of them should be initialized, and all of them should be simple string, so they could work. Now you got what I'm talking. Now you say okay, we did this part, but we need to do setting. Setting mean I want to send the values. This dot doesn't work. So what you would do, you say the name dot set, because this is a properties now. Now is not a string value, not as normal string. For that reason, I want to show you how I could do that by code. So I say dot set. So you could set the username. Say okay, not this username, I want to set this username. You say okay, this dot the properties dot set, this dot the properties dot set, because you cannot do directory, you cannot access to that variable directly because this is not variable, this is properties, and when we have properties you have to have either set and get to access to that properties. So I just want to show you how you do the process, how we define normal class, how we change it to the property class, and because this is a properties, so you cannot access to it directly, you have to do set process. Now I have this part is cool and ready. Now let me go here and try to implement our code. If you see, if I just run it without anything, there's not something complex. You know about this part, you already implemented before twice times. You just have simple welcome and hey, you're done. So let's work on this part. First of all, I just go, I don't need this button, and I want to change this layout to a different layout. I name it flow pane because I need to display that as a flow pane. Okay, hopefully pane will work. Flow pane will work, hopefully. So now if I just try to import it, yeah, flow pane will work. Make sure also this one flow pane, and I don't have button children to it. So yes, this is my scenes, this is my button. I just want to change layout. that is. So what I have, first of all, I have to have list of that as we decide. Same thing to define table view. Some process that we define in the list view. First of all, define data set. Okay, so what's their data set? I have list of accounts. So first of all, let me say, okay, I have observable in this way. Sorry, observable array or observable. This what the name of observable list should be. What the type of the list should be from type of this class, from account class. So I have list of accounts. Okay, so let me suppose I have account list of accounts. So what I have to do, I have to add it. So you know, to add you have to do fx select collection dot observable array list, and you could add your data. So how you add data? Because I have multi rows, you say okay, new accounts. The account have 3 information: username, it is supposed Hussein; password will be 123455; account type, it is supposed admin. Okay, and this is just for one. You could continue for more than one user. So just copy this line and continue second, third, 4, 5 users. Does it have? Let me suppose this one Jenna, and Jenna have this password, and he normal user, and Leia, she has this password, and she QI, let's suppose, and Luma, suppose this password, and she's tester, and Alex, he has this password, and he is a project manager. I just define my data set. Here we go. I'm done from my data set. Well, the next step. So next step, you define your table view. You say define table view. So you say, okay, I have table view, table in this way, a view of what? I have table view of the accounts that I have them. So what you say? We say I have accounts. So I have table view of accounts. Let me say in the table view accounts. Okay, and yes, this table view account. Now you want to initialize it. Let me suppose first of all import this part. You say okay, I want to initialize it, so I would initialize it. So you say oh cool. I use multi-line to make the life easy for you. So in new table view, same thing for account, and you do you have a list, so just make sure to take this list and initialize it. So what we did, just we have defined data set, and we assign this data set to be a display in this table of view. But this is table of view, and we didn't define which we will display in every column. We have to display, hey, we have to say this column for username, this column for password, this user column for account type, and this what we only have to do. So I define table column in this way. So what I have in the table column, I have first of all I have account, because this data is account. But what I want to display from this account, for sure I want to display string, because the data tab in this column is string. Suppose this one should be f username. Okay, cool. A new instance of table column, same thing, and same data type. You just define it. This will take what the column name. If you just go to the properties here, what the column name, username, make sure take this one and add it as a string here. I want to just display it in multi-line to make the life easy for you. So this is how we define our column. Then we say okay, I have this column. Okay, I now let me continue. I say okay, the new f name dot set cell factory, or cell, so set cell value factor. I define the value that should be displayed in this cell. I say new property I don't know why does it work well, so it should be property value factory. Okay, in this way, and I have to display my data inside it. So I say define, hey, display new table factory, and also have to say okay, what the name. So I say okay, this name. So just again, I think I did a mistake. This is what the title of the column. So the title should appear. This is the real data set that should be banded from the table. So I have this username. I have to say here I have username. So make sure what the error here I have it. So we suppose you need to import something. Now I define this column, define everything. I want to add this column to this account. So how I would add it? I say t accounts dot get column, hopefully get columns, this one. Then I want to add, I just add a new column, which is this column, f username. Do same process for other columns. This is for username only. Do same process for password. Let me just do it for you. Just copy it. What I have here, I have here password. So first of all, you define f, the field name. You say, okay, here I will display it as title. This is the title in the table, title. So, and this is the real data that I should bind to. So make sure I say f password, and I want to add f password. Here I should add it, and I'm done. This is for password. Make same process for the third one. That should be type. So what you have to do in the type, first of all, you say f type, or the title f type, or you say account type just as a title. This is title. This is real data that you would bind it. I would bind this type in this column. I have to make f type. Make sure here I also have f type. Then I say date column, please display f type for me. I think initially I'm done for everything in this one. I define everything about account. Just need to define the size of it. So I would say set pre size. So suppose I would say 300 by 300. So the width and the height for it. So just make sure pre-size 300 by 300. Just make sure everything is cool. So now I want to add this one to the root. So I say okay, dot root dot get child. Hopefully it could add it. Get child or get children dot add. You know what? Hopefully now I just work it. Yes. So basically, hopefully now if I just run it, I would see the data. Hopefully I run it, I don't see any data. The problem that make me don't see any data, I will tell you why. If you go here, you see we define TableView. That's totally okay. Then we define the 3 columns. You say the column title, username, and I bind it with this data. But when I say property value factory, that means I'm reading from this properties. But if you go to this class, I don't have any readable property for this one. So I have to say, okay, public string, for example, I'm reading the username. I say get, make sure write get, then take username for it. Okay, then you have to return the value for username. Say okay, return for example username dot getting the username, because it's the properties. Now when he binded here, when he bind with this, this username, he will read this one. Now if you just try to run it again, hopefully now you would see all the usernames. Okay, now you get it. Do same thing for the other properties. Just copy it and paste it for 2 seconds of them. So I have the password, so have to be get a password and password that return. I have a type, so should be get type, and I have type dot return. Now if you just run it, I have to see all my data clear, and here I am. Yes, here you go. This is all the data. Now I want, when someone click on any row on a cell, I want to do a specific process. So this is the question: how you do the process? Same thing that you did it in the previous video. So we do like same thing about when we talk in iOS, when you say, I don't know, delegate other stuff. So okay, how to access? Let me go here and try to think about it. So before I'm just doing 3 columns here, I'm done. So let me just go after adding the column setting size. Let me say access events. Okay, so how to access the event? First of all, let me define my table view. I want to do process, so I say okay, table view dot table. This is table column. I say table view dot I want to access specific event in table view. I say table view select false model, this one. So I would work with accounts, so make sure I'm doing this one. Then let me suppose table view selected module. Okay, this is the same way that we define it. Then you say okay, table view I have accounts, hopefully, dot get, not in this way, dot get. So I'm just getting selected model, hopefully. Yeah, here you go. So I'm just getting selected model and I assign it to this one. Now I have the model here. Now I could access to this, to the event of this one. I say, okay, I have this one, table select model dot selected. Okay, selected only? No, selected index property, because that's what you know about it. Then you say, okay, dot, you do listening. So you say add listener. Hopefully this one, the listener that you look for, because you look for something change. So I'm looking for add listener for changing process. So yes, how your listener will do, you say, okay, new, make sure just make it multi-line, so make the process easy. You say, okay, new. If you don't like it in this way, make it here. You say new change listener. So hopefully the change listener will take number. Then you open a bracket, close it. Then you implement the method for this change listener. If you say, hey, you have error, you did not implement this method. If I just click here, you say implement it. So he will implement this method. This method will call directly when someone change or select specific item. Just remove the data inside it and make sure you add it in multi-line so it will be easy readable. So you say, okay, this is, you have still old and a new value. So you could say, okay, first of all, I take the index, I say integer index, equal the new value. So I'm doing integer casting for a new value. So I'm taking the new in the row. So when this the new row index. So whatever you row in, I have the new row here of index. So now, okay, I want to print. Let me suppose I want to print, hopefully. This is not Eclipse. I think I have to write system SYS only. So I just let me supply the name only. You could display anything you want to display. What I have a list of accounts. If you remember, I have accounts, hopefully, yes, because if you go here, I have a list of accounts here, account list, not account list. So hopefully I have account list. What the problem here? I have there account list, this account list. So I have to say account list dot, then I'm getting specific index, so make sure the index I have it. Then what I want to display, I have in that index. Let me suppose I want to read the username. So if you just look through multi-line, so whenever anyone select item, I just get a value, then display it. And yeah, I'm done. It's right on the output. Hopefully now it will work. So yes, here we go. Help us see Luma here. Yes, see name Luma. Here Alex. Here Hussein. Oh, cool. Everything is cool. Yeah. Yes, that's what I want to share with you here. And thank you for watching and see you next.